Michael Killer Ditka.
Mike Ditka, a fierce competitor. Beano Cook used to say he didn't have a fire in his heart, more like a blast furnace.
He wouldn't let you defeat him, and that on a football field is irreplaceable.
Mike was just a great athlete. You know, he played baseball and also played basketball.
Imagine Iron Mike on the hardwood, huh? And he was also the intramural wrestling champion.
He was an athlete. He was what athletics is all about. He was a competitor, fierce competitor.
Outstanding tight end, led Pitt in receiving for 3 straight years from 1958 to 60. But he also was an outstanding defensive end.
He was the symbol of toughness. I mean, that's just the way he was built, the way he was raised. If all 11 people had that same attitude, you'd win a lot of football games. I don't care how good they were, how big they were, how athletic, you'd win a lot of football games if you had 11 tough people of one single mind and purpose.
Mike never saw defeat by Notre Dame in his 3 varsity years.
And, you know, that's what Ditka was all about. You know, he was about winning games. And I hear stories that at practice, he thought you were lunching it and taking it easy. You would face the wrath of Ditka. And so when you say Ditka, that equals tough.
Born Michael Dick Dyksko, October 18, 1939. Y'all heard of Mike Ditka, big time football super coach, superstar.
I was from Philly, but they got rid of me, so I'm going with the Giants.
Well, let's see, if the Giants win, they're in first. If the Eagles win.
Okay, from the 60s all the way up until today. I mean, let me just get a little bit of his record, all right? He's an American football player, coach, and television commentator. A member of both the college 1986 and the pro 1988 Football Halls of Fame. He was a UPI NFL Rookie of the Year in '61. A 5-time Pro Bowl selection and a 5-time All-Pro tight end with the National Football League Chicago Bears, Philadelphia Eagles, and Dallas Cowboys. He ran 3 teams, okay? He was an NFL champion with the 63 Bears and is a 3-time Super Bowl champion. 3-time. Playing on the Cowboys Super Bowl VI team, as well as winning as an assistant coach on the Cowboys in Super Bowl XII and coaching the Bears to victory in Super Bowl XX. He was named the NFL's 50th, 75th, and 100th anniversary all-time teams. As a coach for the Bears for 11 years, he was twice both the AP and UPI NFL Coach of the Year, 85 and 88. He also coached the New Orleans Saints for 3 years. So this man had a stupendous record as a football player and a coach. And now he turns around and comes out and trashes the black men who made him continually rich. Because back in the 60s, they wasn't getting all that kind of money for no football. Back in the 60s, they was playing in the mud for peanuts. It wasn't until black men got up into the game real strong and made it more exciting that the Roman arenas took off and became so daggone powerful and great.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. The pro game in the pop age had a number of superstars, but only one Superman, and he was Jim Brown.
Jim thought on Sundays, and these are his words, that he was a god.
I played 9 seasons, I never missed a game, and I never laid out on the football field. I might not have the greatest ability of everybody, but the one thing that stands is that when it was time to play, I was there.
Six guys on each side of the ball. Sanders cuts back. Has a little room outside. Here goes Barry Sanders. He's gone. Aeneas Williams, whoa.
20-0 Washington.
Barry Sanders is hurt. Carry in the second half in a big one. He's by one defender inside the 10. Touchdown, Barry Sanders. There's Sanders up the middle. About that 47 yards, Dick. You better add a few more. Touchdown for Sanders. No flags. Possession for Detroit. Barry Sanders with a seam. Sanders with a cutback. And Sanders down the sideline. One to beat. Touchdown.
We think every time he goes back to receive a kick that something special is about to happen.
Devin Hester is in a different category. He's unbelievable. You don't find guys like him.
Devin Hester can do just about anything you ask him to do.
What he did his first 3 years in the league, no one's ever done it.
To be the best return in the history of the game and also start and be a great wide receiver. How many players have been able to do that? His first game in the NFL, he returned a punt back against the Packers. So you expect that every time.
Hester backpedals to the 16, starts to his right up to the 20, 25, finds a little room, 30, look out, across the 40. He's got the punter to beat, 45, right sideline, 40, 30. He's to the 20, got a picket line, he'll score, touchdown, Chicago.
Placement kick, Feely gets into it high, short, doesn't have a chance. And it's taken, and the end zone is going to be run out. Coming to the near side, 5-10. 15, 20, 25, near right sideline. Got blockers. If he sets it up, he does. 50, 45, 40. He's going to take it all away. Devin Hester has done it again for Chicago.
Let's see what Devin Hester can do with his kick from the 10. Break free in the open. Devin Hester, goodbye. A record 5th return for a touchdown.
Unfortunately, I saw Devin Hester do it twice in a game.
In the second return in St. Louis, I came up with the term that Devin Hester, you are ridiculous.
And an NFL record 6th return of the year.
Devin Hester, you are ridiculous.
It makes me want to throw up, literally.
There's not a player on the sidelines that didn't have this dream. It sails to the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks free of the 25 to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 of the Colts, 20, 15, Hester 5, touchdown Bears!
No way! When you were growing up, who was the person that you thought the most of in the NFL?
Deion Sanders. No question. George has time, and his pass is intercepted. They're not catching him down the sideline. Deion Sanders.
It's confidence. I don't consider it cockiness. I feel like I was somewhat of an entertainer doing what I love to do.
Prime time.
Old school entertainer.
I think Deion Sanders is the greatest athlete I've ever been around.
It was always a big event if Deion Sanders came into the room.
Nobody loved the spotlight more. Make a way for black style. Make a way for black men to do what they do.
And bringing that to the table and not being apologetic for it, I don't think it had been seen yet. If you just lay your heart out and give it your all, they gonna ride with you, man.
Atlanta Falcons first-round choice, Deion Sanders, cornerback, Florida State.
Prime time's coming to Atlanta, huh? Looks like you're wearing your signing bonus here. I mean...
Wide open and a flick into the end zone by Jerome Simpson. Oh, goodness. You'll be seeing that one the rest of today, into tomorrow, and the entire week. It's one thing to leap over a guy. It's another thing to finish the flip on your feet.
Well, you don't get style points in the NFL, but that ought to be worth 8. I mean, my goodness, that is. I just hope the league doesn't come back and outlaw this. This is outstanding. He wanted to look at the ups on this guy, and then to land on, he nails it.
But he recently came in and trashed the Lord's chosen for doing something. This is what I don't understand. He blasted, this is going back 2 weeks, but he said stuff even before this. But 2 weeks ago, he blasted the brothers for standing up for the brothers in the streets who are dying. What never ceases to amaze me. It doesn't amaze me, but I gotta bring it out because it's an amazing thing how thoughtless and ingrained racist some of these people are towards the Lord's chosen. And it's good to bring it out. And here's why it's good to bring it out. It's good to bring it out so that you can really see the world that you're living in. Really see the mindset of the people. We've been slaves in this place so long that we don't really understand the mindset of our slave master. We think we do, but we do not. And you're going to see in his statements how vicious and thoughtless this cat is. I mean, this is a real animal when it comes to the Lord. And this is a man that worked for years and years around brothers, had authority over these brothers' lives, decided what they eat, what they didn't eat, when they went to sleep, when they didn't, they had to commit their whole lives for these careers that they received. And because they turn around and protest, he treats them like they're disgusting and should be thankful, which is the problem in this empire with these Edomites, is that they always feel like you should be thankful. But if it's something that they don't like, they consider it honorable when they protest. When they protest, it's an honorable thing. This protest ain't honorable because this is about what's happening to black men every day in these streets and women in these streets every day. And so, of course, they don't want to hear it. And furthermore, let the record be told. Let us Edomites smashing and burning up these stores, not black people. The black people ain't even thinking about doing that. They will go out there and loot because they've been poor for 400 years. So they will go out there and loot. Something they shouldn't do, but they will do it. OK, and you've robbed them so horribly over the years. And all this beast could think about is how much you should be thankful for what you've received. And if you are able to be a ball player, when what these ball players are doing is exactly what Christ said to do. It's exactly what Moses said to do. It's exactly what's written of in the Bible. There have been time and time again when the Lord's chosen people were suffering and the Lord commissioned brothers to stand up and to be honorable, and in many cases lost their very lives for standing up for their own.
Out of that protest by Colin Kaepernick, 49ers quarterback knelt instead of standing during the national anthem at last night's game. He was not alone.
For the land and of the free.
Overnight, San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick refusing to stand during the national anthem again. This time, he took a knee right behind hundreds of service members being honored on Military Appreciation Night. As the crowd and players stand, you can see Kaepernick kneeling on the sideline. Teammate Eric Reed joining him.
Going to stand.
And he's receiving heavy boos here.
The crowd booing every time he took a snap.
He's entitled to his opinion. We fought for that. I just think he's a jerk.
And now the quarterback sparking new controversy for wearing these socks showing police officers as pigs. Those scandalous socks drawing criticism from law enforcement officials across the country. Police in Vermont tweeting, "Wealthy, privileged person's free speech dehumanizes an entire group of human beings." Sound familiar, Kaepernick?
The socks that were worn, did those not seem negative?
No, that was once again, we have cops that are murdering people. We have cops in the SFPD that are blatantly racist. And those issues need to be addressed.
Players from other teams like Jeremy Lane from Seattle are joining Kaepernick in his seated stand, begging the question, how far will this go?
At this point, I think it will continue to be taking a knee. As far as how long this goes, I'm not sure.
The whole premise of Jesus Christ, whom all of these people go to church on Sunday and act like they believe in, the whole premise of Jesus Christ was that he laid down his life for his brothers. It's all in the Bible. It's all in your songs and your hymns and your church going songs. But when black men stand up for the ones that are hated, then, of course, all that goes out the window, which shows you what's really inside them. The more you promote your race and help your people, the more you're hated. And the more you're not taking your position, and they've kept your position. What is your position? Your position is to be on the bottom and a few of you to be lifted up to get a great opportunity because you make them rich. They never think about how much money they're making from you. They only think about how thankful you should be for receiving the money that they've given you after they've starved your people half to death. Like it's a shame that you have to become a ball player to become wealthy in many cases in this country. It should be a shame. It should be a shame to them that your forefathers spent all this time in slavery, under Jim Crow, lynching, the Ku Klux Klan, burning down every black economic power zone that you ever had. Redlining, bank schemes, housing thefts, drugs poured into the neighborhood. You would think that they would say, they would be ashamed. You would think that they would say it's a shame that a brother got to run up and down on a field or a basketball court just to make and obtain the wealth that he otherwise should have gotten for the years and years that his forefathers suffered in this empire, man. But those things don't matter. For them, it would matter. They protested in many protests all over the country. They protest who becomes president. They protest all types of things and come from all over to do it. Never a problem. Never, ever, ever a problem. And the idea that black men should now dismiss their race because they're in sports and only focus on the sports is proof positive that that these people, these Edomites, have no empathy for what you suffer and have suffered. They don't even believe you have suffered. They think it's a scam. They don't think you've gone through anything in this country, but you have, which is why the Lord is bringing the whole empire to an end. In global thermonuclear war, because man can't figure this out because he has no empathy for the Lord's chosen people. So I got to have you hear what this coach said. This coach, after working so many years with brothers and sisters, is disgusted that you aren't just concentrating on football and have forgotten everybody else. And something else, too. It's amazing to me how you take a knee to protest what is happening to black people. And all they could think about is, if you don't like it, get out. When protesting is something you learned from them. This is what they said to do. This was their prescription in the 60s for you to resolve your issues. When you were burning down stores and restaurants, they said that's not the way to handle issues. You have to have constructive protest. Then when you protest, it's shut the hell up and get the hell up out of here. Their mindset towards you is amazing. And it is why your mindset must become of the Lord's. But I got to let you hear. Check this out. Check this Edomite out and hear what he's got to say.
Joining us now by phone is NFL legend Mike Ditka, and former player and coach of the Chicago Bears. Very fortunate to have you, Coach. Thanks so much for coming on. First question I got for you. Did you even watch yesterday? What were your overall thoughts, Coach?
I watched football, but I don't pay much attention to it anymore.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch, even before the games, a conversation that I had with another guest is listening to the commentators, former players and coaches that are on these panels before the game gets started. I would say 70% of that was about racism, social injustice, and police brutality, and not even about the game itself, not even about the hype of the game itself, which we've missed for so many months. What were your overall thoughts on that?
I agree with you. Football's football. I mean, it's not a complicated thing. You play the game, you enjoy the game. You don't like the game, get out of it. It's not for protesting one way or the other, what color you are, what you think, this and that. Hey, you play football. That's it. You're privileged. You got a gift from God that you can play the game because you got a body you can do it with. I don't really understand what you're protesting. I mean, I would.
Did y'all catch that? He said he don't even understand what you are even protesting about. He don't even understand what you're even speaking out against. Because, of course, to him, who gives a damn that black men are slaughtered in these streets? Who cares? Who cares what happens to you and your people? He said, I don't even know what you even protesting about. And said, you should thank God that you have the gift to play football. And listen, it's a blessing to make millions of dollars to play football. But it's more honorable in Christ's eyes that if you put it on the line for the rest of your brothers and sisters. And once again, here's the part you miss. A lot of people miss, especially those of you that have a low spirit, meaning you will grovel and for any crumb that you can get in your mouth because you have low integrity. You don't care about anything but feeding your gullet. This makes no sense to you. To you, this is foolishness. What Nick Cannon did to you was ridiculous and it was insane. But here's the part you don't understand. That the resistance of this evil is how you pay yourself. If black people had empowered themselves and continue to power themselves with Christ, you wouldn't have to go to them to the NFL. You would have your own NFL. And then what you did not like, you would be able to protest however you wanted to.
Welcome back. We're joined now by the founder of the new Big Three Basketball League, the one and only I.S.U.P.K, and the commissioner of the league, Roger Mason Jr., who played 10 seasons in the NBA.
And by
Welcome,
the way,
guys.
Shannon Sharp, this man used to drain threes from my San Antonio Spurs like unconsciously.
Like LeBron did this year?
He tries.
Well, we know you guys are here for a big announcement for us. So, I.S.U.P.K, what is it?
Man, we're extremely proud to announce that the Big Three has just signed a deal with Fox Sports to broadcast our games right here on FS1. So we're very excited. We're going to be on Fox Deportes, and we're also going to be streamed on FX Go. So, man, this is a big day for the Big Three. We're excited. We've been waiting for this day, and you know, it's extremely exciting to be here with Fox. You know, they definitely see the picture and see the great things that we're trying to do with the league. So we're extremely excited.
And here's what's even better. What's even better would have been to have a black NFL team, set of teams or league. And that league be filled with black people and plenty of coaches and plenty of workers and plenty of stadium workers that are black. And then when you're ready to protest, you protest something that black people are doing. You want black people to stop selling drugs? Then guess what? The ball players who everybody looks up to, they'll be, instead of taking a knee for the evil that the Edomites are doing, they'll take a knee for the evil that we're doing. And guess what? When they take that knee for the evil that we're doing in that black stadium with that black audience, with all those black people in them jobs, guess what? We as a people will stop doing whatever that evil is. Like, we can't even influence our own selves because we are so hated, we can't even influence the slave master that's over you, that is giving you every crumb that goes in your mouth. Which is why you got to help yourself, because he could care less. He wants to play football, and whoever die on the street corner means nothing.
And one of the places that really needs to go into a better place is the city of Chicago. Besides the Cubs' victory, a lot of violence just wreaking havoc all over that town. You know, Trump's the law and order guy. As a Chicago guy yourself, what would you like to see done in that city? Because it's just lawless in certain areas right now.
We've had so much talk in our country about the police, and you know, it's really a shame, and it's not only a shame but disgusting, because without our police and without the people who uphold the law, we have a lot of people who don't want laws, they want to be lawless. They don't want to have to abide by anything, and that's the problem right now. In Chicago, you know, they got to step on them a little harder. The police have got to have more power, and they got to be able to do a better job.
Now, I know you still run with a lot of athletes and people in the press. Do you get a hard time coming out supporting Donald Trump for some of your friends and colleagues, or do they just kind of, you know, let you do what you do because they're terrified of you?
Jesse, do you really think I would care what any of those people said about what I think?
Whoever gets dragged out the car and shot in the back, or shot 7 times while going to your car, or murdered like Philando Castile in front of your wife and your child, that's not important. We got to play football. You got a job to do. So go play football when what these brothers are doing is honorable to their own brothers and sisters, black and Latino alike. It is honorable that they put themselves in that position to have seen the other side. And let me tell you something else. The leverage that the Lord showed black people with the coronavirus in the sports arena was enough to make Roger Goodell bow down. Brought Roger Goodell to his goddamn knees like it should have, because he wasn't listening before. He wasn't listening when Colin show you how vicious these people are. 7 months of the coronavirus and they still ain't picked up on it yet. You should have capitulated and recognized that them brothers had a right to protest what was going on, because they had the loudest voices, man. And they have a right to use them voices. You protest anything you want, whenever you want, however you want. You telling me Mike Ditka ain't protest stuff? This cat protests every freaking call he ever get in a football game. You protest the damn coach. You kick up the damn dirt. You turn over Gatorade jugs. You protest every damn thing and get halfway violent doing it.
Belichick was checking out the tablet and was not happy.
Look out,
He wasn't set. Hey, he's not set. He shifts a guy out and he's not set for even half a second.
Oh, we're on that.
You're not on it. You're not you're on it at all.
Can't hit our quarterback like that. That's bull.
How the hell you call that? Well, call it on Tom Brady, will you? Call it on those guys. I've never seen that in my life.
500 for the first time in 9 years. Oh boy. Well, that's a few bucks. No way are you calling that? No way.
Passes out quick, so the guy wasn't downfield.
He was 8 yards downfield. That's why you threw the flag.
Okay, then how about the hold the next play where the guy's getting grabbed right here and it's right in front of your face?
That one I can't explain.
Yeah, I know. Me neither.
Oh, throw the flag! He's all
But don't no black man can't come do that. You can do it about football.
Mike, why are you in such a bad mood?
What do you care? Okay. If you were 2-7, you'd be in a bad mood too.
But not about lives of black and Latino men. That you can't do. This is why these people will never have the empathy that they should have to give black people what they need, which is why you need a black man by the name of Christ. You need that black man by the name of Jesus Christ, and you need to be doing what he says to do, not what man says to do. But the men of God and those men only. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Let me get a little more on this, and then I want to get you a script or two on it, y'all. Bear with me.
A long time, and it makes no sense to me. You ought to get down on your hands and knees and thank God every day that you can make the kind of money you can make playing football or playing any sport. So, I mean, to me, it makes no sense. So you got the wrong guy.
Well, Coach, just real quick before you go here, look, we are at a different time. It's 2020. We're seeing this now. Players not coming out of the locker rooms during the national anthem. Some, again, protesting during it. You've been around. You are a legend in this sport. Did you ever think you'd see a day like this? What does this do to you when you see it?
No. And I would tell those players, go to another country and play football there. Then you don't have to come out. You don't have to come out for the anthem if you go to another country. You can, because the game's only played in this country.
Again, go to another country. To hell with your brothers being murdered here. Go to another country. You don't like it? Go over there. You can't get what you can get from here. Guess what? They go to another country and you'll be on your knees just like Roger Goodell, begging for a real football team. And I won't be surprised if after this they don't attempt to get rid of every brother in the football league and bring in and make it an all-white team. Believe you me, they got the racism in them enough to do it. But remember, we built this country, man. We built this empire. And for the little time that we're going to be here until Christ returns, we're going to get our portion of this country. Until the Lord wipes the whole thing off the map along with every other empire in the world. Until then, we're going to get our portion. You ain't gonna steal our portion. Why don't you go to another country since you don't want to have enough compassion on the people that you had in slavery for 400 years? Why don't you go to another country? These people are thoughtless, man. Your suffering does not matter here. What you go through does not matter here. which is why you got to take care of yourself. That's like a child. You put a child in the middle of the street and leave him out there and nobody cares about him. That child is destined to be destroyed. You have to go help that child. You have to get him out the street. You have to get him in the house before it gets dark out. You have to feed that child. Well, that's human beings on the earth, and it is why the Lord give you a nation, to help yourself. And if you don't do it, then you're like that child, man, that's withering in the wind. And that's what they want for you as a black person. They want you to be that child on the street corner playing the bongos past an hour and not give a damn that you might need to go home and be fed. That you might have to have a warm bed at home at night and a blanket over you. Nah, child, stay on this corner and bongo for us, regardless of what happens. This is the problem in this place, man. And this is why you need the Most High power. Let me get a scripture on it right quick. This is why you need the Most High so bad, brothers and sisters. For this very reason, man. Because I don't even understand this, man. First of all, let me just read one real quick. They always quoting this type of stuff when it comes to Martin Luther King. Like, they wasn't mad. They ain't saying Martin Luther King was wrong. They ain't saying that. He giving national anthems for Martin Luther King Day and honoring the civil rights movement and half flag for John Lewis. All that protesting was acceptable. That was all acceptable. Meanwhile, during the time that it was going on, you were calling them communists, traitors, telling them get the hell out the country, beating the hell out of them. Got dogs ripping black women's flesh apart, man, in these protests. And that's another thing. They show you them still shots and very little bit of them videos from the 60s because they so horrible. If you were to see the real footage, if you were to see the real stuff they did, especially when they thought they weren't on camera, you would be shocked at what those black people suffered under the hands of these people. But now it's like those protests were all right. Brothers and sisters, wake up. Christ said this, John 15:13. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends, man. No man have a greater love than that. And that's what Christ did. And what these brothers is doing is the same exact thing. They laying down their lives for their brothers, man, who they don't even know. And imagine if all black people took that attitude. You wouldn't be able to sell drugs to your friend. You would not be able to sell drugs on the corner because you would have to say, man, I can't hurt these brothers. The minute black people adopt the spirit of I got to help another brother and sister, it's all over for the criminals who have used our people to be low-level criminals, man. It's the end of the world for them. All the schemes and scams and things that they've been doing to us. Imagine if we had adopted that spirit and said, you know what? We're not doing that no more. No, we ain't doing that. We ain't hurting each other no more. That day come, now you got something. That's why, again, Christ was the best tacticianist, the best revolutionary you ever met. You let Esau and the other nations make him out to be some lightweight fairy tale soft dude. When he was nothing like that when you read the Bible. When you finally stop singing and tell him to turn down that noise in that church, you start to find out that he had nothing to do with that. The Bible is a book. It got words in it. It's time to stop singing and start listening and reading and understanding what you're reading. He said, no greater love, brother. No greater love. And what them brothers is, they putting everything on the line. And let me tell you something else, too, because they putting everything on the line, like the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge has been doing since the 60s. We didn't go out and become basketball stars. We didn't go out and become business entrepreneurs. We didn't go out there and become, experts in anything. We did what Peter and them did. We threw away our fishing lines and walked away. We threw away our jobs and our this and our that and walked away and went to go out to help our brothers, man, and our sisters. and enriched them. And because we did that, they lived and grew and grew and are still growing to this day. That's the right spirit to be in. And so for the brothers who did go out there, more power to you if you became a ball player or a this or that in this kingdom. But how much more should you now be ready to put it on the line for your brothers? And that's what these brothers did. And every brother and sister that sees what the Israelite School of UPK is doing and what these sports figures is doing, you should be empowered by it. You should want to do the same. And it should also give you a sense of guilt to go do evil. You see the Israelite School on that corner, you're supposed to say, man, these are brothers who care for their own regardless of what they sacrifice. I'm going to make sure I make it worth it to them. For them sacrificing for me to educate me and to get me out of this hell, you should be saying, I'm going to make sure that I turn around and do the right thing and live the right life. The same applies for the ball players coming behind doing the same thing. Christ said no greater love, man. No greater love. But I talk about love and love Jesus and love this and love that. Will you lay up your world for their world? Will you stop that world for their world? Do you know that these brothers and the truth together could stop all the evil among us, man? It's not that difficult. It could be done. Romans 11:13. Check it out. For I speak to you Gentiles, Paul speaking, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify my office. These Gentiles he's talking about are not heathens. These are Israelites. And Paul is magnifying his office and letting them know that I'm here to work with you, hoping that my other brothers will wake up. Listen to it good. Because all of you, both sides of this kingdom, these Gentiles are the northern kingdom of Israel. And the brothers and sisters who left off from the rest of the nation. Here's what he said in the 14th verse. If by any means I might provoke to emulation them that are my flesh and might save some of them. That if I could, I'm going to make these moves. Paul saying, look, man, I'm going to make sure I do this. Okay, then do it in a way that I provoke my brothers to be as good or better, to bring them back to this truth, that I might gain some of them. They might see what I do and say, man, I got to go out and do the same. That I might provoke them to emulation and make them say, man, look how I'm waking up brothers. Look how I'm helping people. That they might emulate that they might do what they see me doing. And that I might save some of them, that I might make them men of God and deliver them out of this hell. This is what Paul said. And what those brothers is doing is the same. Mike Ditka need to shut his damn mouth. These brothers are doing the same. And again, the Israelite School of UPK, we've been doing it for forever. We've been doing it unstoppable for forever in the right spirit. We've been provoking brothers to emulation, provoking brothers out of prison, provoking brothers out of all walks of evil life and turning them back to the Lord. And that's how we fix ourselves and become powerful enough to take care of ourselves. Because you trusting in somebody else to take care of you is destructive to you. Let me get some more. 1 Corinthians 9:20. And on to the Jews, this Paul again speaking. On to the Jews, I became a Jew, that I might gain the Jews. He tried to show familiarity with every tribe in every situation, man. To them that are under the law, as under the law, and that I might gain them that are under the law. If they were strict under the law and rules and regulations, Paul tried to roll with them. Tried to show them that he was just as good under that law. Showed them that he was down with them to wake them up. That's what these brothers did. 21st verse. To them that are without the law, as without the law, being not without the law of the Lord, but under the law to Christ. Meaning he presented himself almost like he was not a lawful cat, but he was under that law. He kept under that law of Christ. He followed those rules and regulations, but you might have thought he might be like us. No, he wasn't like you. But he was showing you that to win you back to the truth. And this is what the Israelite School of UPK does. We win you back to the truth. We care over your soul, man. As he said, that I might gain them that are without the law. He brought them back to the law that were without the law, man, by showing them or showing them how he was just like them. He cared about what they cared about. He suffered what they suffered. 1 Corinthians 9:22, to the weak became I weak, that I might gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. That was his mission, man. That's what our mission is. And it is the mission of the Israelite school of UPK. It's the Lord's mission. It's the Lord's mission. And for them brothers to step out there and do that, losing your life in this world is a small thing. Christ said this, he that loses his life shall gain it. He that gaineth his life shall lose it. So you lose your life in this kingdom, you ain't lost nothing, man. You lost what carnal people think is great. Oh, you lost your contract. Oh, you lost your TV show. Oh, you lost this or you lost that. You're going to gain a whole lot more. And what good is it, as just like the Lord said, that a man gain the whole world and lose his soul? You're going to lose everything in this place anyway. This place is going into hell by the hand of the Lord. And you're going to lose it too. So you better get your head right. Let me get this one. This is Hebrews 2:16. For verily he took not unto him the nature of angels. Christ didn't take on the nature of angels. That kills immaculate conception. But he took on him the seed of Abraham. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our forefathers. That's who Christ came from. There's no such thing as immaculate conception. That comes from the Roman Catholic Church under the worship of Diana, making her immaculate and never having a man, trying to make her like a untouchable virgin. That comes from the worship of Greek and Roman gods, which also come from the Egyptian gods of Isis and others. That's the worship of heathen gods that have been in the earth for thousands of years. Immaculate conception has nothing to do with that. Immaculate conception is an excuse to uphold a woman over a man, to make her seem clean when she has no sex, and make her seem dirtier, a little bit less than great once she does. That is to worship her virginity or her not having had a man. That's what that is about. When that is, it's great that you have a woman like that, but not the woman that brought forth Christ came like any other woman, had sex. That kills immaculate conception. Hebrews 2:17. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren. When them brothers in that arena get on that one knee, they become like us. Now they being real role models. While you were so mad at them because they out smacking up broads and getting high and crashing up Rolls Royces and getting caught with pounds of weed in the limo. Now they give all that up, and now instead they care for their brothers in the street. Now you really disgusted by them. When the Lord turned around and said, look, that's when you become like your brother, just like Christ did. It behooved Christ, man, to be like his brothers. Here's what it says, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to the Lord, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. He lowered himself, man. He could have came any kind of way. He could have come in immaculate conception if he wanted to, but he did not want to. He did not want to lower himself to that. He did not want to raise himself to a standard above a sensible standard, which was to be just like his brothers, so he could wake us up and show us we are brothers. We are the 12 lost tribes of the children of Israel in this land blind, but we will wake up and come back and be strong and care for one another and change the world. All right, fam, I'll catch y'all on the next one. I want you to stay strong in the spirit of the Lord. Hey, listen, if you like this tape, hit the like button and share it, man. Hit the share button. Everybody share it to their own personal Facebook accounts. Share this video, man, to wake up brothers and sisters all over this earth. Hit the like button. Check me out Monday night. I'm live every Monday night. I bring the heavy hitters in. We do it up live right on this same channel. I'll see